Welcome to the deep dive. Ready to take a deep dive today
Always ready.
into some pretty incredible sources that offer like timeless wisdom,
Yeah.
for navigating like all the craziness of modern life and
Yeah.
maybe even unlocking some hidden potential we might have inside.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. We're looking at Meditations by Marcus Aurelius,
Oh yeah.
Roman emperor who
Mm,
found some tranquility in the middle of war.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I.O. How to Win at the Game of Life by Luigino Bottega. That's
Okay.
a modern entrepreneur. And he kind of pulls inspiration from those ancient Stoics to create a practical guide for living today.
So we have an ancient source and a more modern
Yeah,
source.
exactly.
And it's interesting to me how these two works, even though they're separated by centuries,
Yeah.
seem to kind of speak to a shared philosophy that feels really, really relevant to like the problems we deal with today.
Yeah.
Like feeling overwhelmed or feeling like we're stuck on autopilot and just like disconnected from what really matters.
It's like they're both offering a map
Yeah.
for how to get off that hamster wheel, that feeling of just going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly.
And stepping into a life of purpose and fulfillment.
I love it. That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
So Bottega takes these ancient Stoic principles and he kind of puts a modern twist on them.
Yeah.
He basically says that life is a game to be won, which is kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not like he's saying it's easy or anything.
Right.
Both Aurelius and Bottega, they both acknowledge the challenges, the setbacks, the kind of chaos of life, but they also kind of offer us tools and strategies to not just survive it, but really thrive in the middle of it all.
Yeah, to really like make the most of it, right?
Yeah, I love that. So let's start with Marcus Aurelius for a second.
Okay.
This guy wrote Meditations on a battlefield. Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, talk about finding peace in the midst of chaos,
Yeah.
right?
Totally. And that's like one of the key takeaways from his work, right? And he
Mhm.
says we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts and our actions, and just accept what we can't control.
Right.
It's really interesting. This idea of inner transformation was something that Bottega also was really into.
Yeah.
But he kind of took it a step further.
Yeah, for Bottega, it's not just about accepting fate. It's about really like actively shaving it.
Okay.
He presents life as this game, right? And like any game, it has rules, it has strategies, and there are opportunities for growth and advancement.
I'm really curious to hear more about that. But first, can we talk for a second about this concept of I/O?
Yeah.
That's in Bottega's book?
Sure.
It's a really intriguing idea to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bottega, he was actually inspired by this really simple image of raindrops, and they were reflecting bridges in these unique ways.
Okay.
And he uses this image as a metaphor for the I/O, which is like the true self,
Right.
the core of our being. And that core holds so much potential.
So understanding our own I/O
Yeah.
is like a really big part of winning this game of life that he talks
Yeah,
about.
it's essential. It's the key. And he actually talks about these 6 levels of reality, starting with our basic like physical needs
Yeah.
and going all the way up to the realm of spirituality.
Wow.
And what's so cool is that he argues the real game changers, the things that really unlock our potential
Yeah.
lie in reaching those higher levels of self-awareness and connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
It's almost like a pyramid. You have to start at the bottom and build your way up.
Exactly. It's a journey, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's not something that happens overnight.
I was thinking about Bottega's personal key to happiness exercise.
Yeah.
I actually tried it.
Oh, nice.
And it was so insightful.
Cool.
It really makes you kind of confront what truly brings you joy, not what you think should bring you joy.
That's such a valuable exercise.
Yeah.
And it really does align beautifully with what Marcus Aurelius had to say about self-reflection and understanding our values. Remember that quote? Our life is what our thoughts make it.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a powerful reminder that we have way more control over our happiness than we often realize.
Absolutely. So how do we start to move away from all these like external expectations and pressures? How do we step off that hamster wheel and create a life that's really lined up with our I/O, with our values, with our purpose?
Well, Bottega, he gives us a strategic framework for doing just that.
Okay.
He encourages us to understand the playing field, the rules of the game, and how to like move effectively within that game.
Okay.
And he outlines 4 domains of existence that we really need to pay attention to: physical needs, relationships, the mind, and the spirit.
So like a holistic approach.
Yeah.
We need to take care of our bodies. We need to build strong relationships.
Yeah.
We need to cultivate our minds and connect with something greater than ourselves.
Exactly. And this really, really resonates with what Marcus Aurelius had to say about living in harmony with the universe
Yeah.
and recognizing that we're all interconnected.
That's pretty cool. So Bottega calls this nurturing all parts of ourselves, investing in our probabilistic survival currency.
Okay.
But think of it more like your life force, your capacity to not just survive, but truly thrive. And guess what? It's not just about money or stuff.
Right, right. It's about so much more than that.
I think so many people today feel like they're constantly chasing something,
Yeah.
something external, some marker of success, but it just leaves them feeling empty and unfulfilled.
Yeah, it's like they're playing the wrong game.
Yeah,
And that's where understanding our values and aligning our actions with those values becomes so important.
totally. So how do we figure out what our values are?
Right.
I think a lot of people have trouble with that.
Yeah, it's a tough question, and Bottega, he actually has another brilliant exercise.
Oh.
He asks us to rank our personal values
Oh.
and really be honest with ourselves about what matters most to us.
Okay.
And he even suggests assigning stories to each value to make the process like more intuitive and easier to connect with.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and this reminds me of how Marcus Aurelius emphasized living a life true to our nature
Okay.
and pursuing virtue as the only true good.
Okay.
It's about aligning ourselves with our deepest sense of self.
Yeah. Bottega goes on to connect this to the concept of talent and intuition,
Okay.
arguing that the talent and intuition are kind of interconnected.
Yeah.
And that our talents are really amplified by our passions.
Absolutely. And his etymology of enthusiasm is fascinating.
What is that?
It's basically having God within oneself.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It suggests that when we're truly passionate about something,
Yeah.
we tap into the source of energy and inspiration that's way bigger than ourselves.
I love that. So that kind of passion, that enthusiasm
Yeah.
is essential for breaking free from societal expectations,
Yeah.
for having the courage to step off that hamster wheel
Yeah.
and pursue a path that's truly our own.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Finding that path that really lights us up.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And that's what we're all about here on the Deep Dive.
Exactly.
So speaking of that hamster wheel, I'm curious to hear more about Bottega's analogy and what it really means to step off of it.
Okay, sure. Well, he uses the hamster wheel to represent a life that's driven by external validation,
Mm-hmm.
societal pressures, that feeling of constantly chasing something outside of ourselves.
Right.
You know, that feeling of never quite being enough.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to that feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we're constantly bombarded with these messages about what we should be doing, who we should be, what success looks like.
Right.
It's so easy to get caught up in all that noise and just lose sight of our own inner compass.
Yeah, it really is. And stepping off the wheel means having the courage to question those messages, to define success on our own terms.
Yeah.
To live a life that's authentically ours.
That sounds so liberating.
It is.
But also kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can be. It's stepping into the unknown.
Yeah.
It's taking risks. It's putting ourselves out there.
Right.
And there's always the possibility that things won't go as planned.
Absolutely. But I think it's really important to remember that failure is a part of growth.
It is.
It's through our mistakes and our setbacks that we really learn and evolve. And Bottega actually reframes failure as feedback, as
Yes.
valuable information that helps us to kind of course correct and ultimately achieve our goals.
I love that reframe. It's so powerful. It's
Yeah.
about shifting our perspective, seeing challenges not as roadblocks,
Yeah.
but as opportunities for learning and growth.
Right. And it makes me think of Marcus Aurelius's idea of being a good soldier, being ready to answer the call of duty. It's about focusing on our efforts, on doing the best we can in each moment,
Yeah.
regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about showing up fully, giving it our all,
Yeah.
and trusting that the results will take care of themselves.
So how do we cultivate that kind of resilience?
Right.
How do we overcome those fears and challenges that inevitably come up
Yeah.
when we choose to step off the hamster wheel
Yeah.
and create a life that's truly our own?
Well, Bottega, he offers some practical strategies for doing that. He talks about the importance of building a strong support system, surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us, who encourage us, who help us to stay on track when we're feeling discouraged.
I think that's so crucial. Having a tribe, a community, a group of people who understand and support our journey can make all the difference.
It really, really can. And he also emphasizes the importance of self-care.
Okay.
You know, when we're stepping off the hamster wheel, we're stepping outside of our comfort zone.
Right.
We're challenging ourselves.
Yeah.
We're taking risks, and that can be both exhilarating and exhausting.
It's like running a marathon. We need to make sure that we're fueling our bodies, we're resting when we need to, and taking care of our mental and emotional well-being.
Exactly. And that looks different for everyone, right? It might be spending time in nature, practicing meditation, pursuing creative hobbies, or simply taking some time for ourselves to recharge and reconnect with our inner selves.
I love that. It's about listening to our bodies and our souls and honoring what we need to thrive.
Yeah. And speaking of thriving, let's talk about this fascinating concept of probabilistic survival currency that Bottega introduces.
Okay.
He calls it S for short. And he describes it as this sort of life force, this energetic currency that we accumulate and invest throughout our lives.
We touched on this a little bit earlier. It's the idea that true wealth isn't just about money or material possessions.
Right.
It's about cultivating a deeper sense of resilience, resourcefulness, well-being.
Exactly. And this S is what allows us to not just survive, but to really thrive in the game of life.
Right.
It helps us to navigate challenges, to seize opportunities, and to create a life that is both fulfilling and impactful.
I'm really curious to hear more about how this S works. What are the key components that contribute to this life force?
Well, Bottega, he breaks down S into 5 key components.
Okay.
Each one representing a different domain of existence. These are physical needs, relationships, mind, spirit, and time.
Wow. That's a lot to consider.
It is. It's a holistic view of what it means to thrive.
Okay.
Encompassing our physical well-being, our social connections, our mental and spiritual development, and even our relationship with time itself.
Wow. So neglecting any one of these domains can deplete our S and make it harder to navigate the game effectively.
Exactly. He argues that we need to invest in each of these areas to truly flourish.
Okay.
So let's take physical needs as an example.
Okay.
This is about making sure we have our basic survival needs met.
Right.
You know, having enough food, water, shelter, and taking care of our physical health.
So we need to take care of our bodies if we want to be strong and resilient players in the game.
Exactly. We can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Right.
We need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves first.
But how do relationships contribute to this S?
Well, Bottega, he emphasizes that strong, supportive relationships are absolutely essential for our well-being.
Yeah.
They provide us with love, connection, belonging, a sense of purpose. We need to nurture those bonds, foster trust, and create a sense of community.
I completely agree. Our connections with others are what give life meaning and richness.
Absolutely.
So what about the mind? How does cultivating our mental faculties contribute to our S?
That's a great question. This is all about expanding our minds, challenging our beliefs, and constantly learning and growing. It's about cultivating our intelligence, our knowledge, our creativity, our problem-solving abilities, and constantly upgrading our mental software, so to speak, to navigate the complexities of life.
And what about the spirit?
Right.
This one seems a little more abstract.
You're right. It is more abstract.
Yeah.
But it's just as important. Bottega, he describes this as our connection to something greater than ourselves. Okay. A sense of purpose, meaning transcendence.
I think this is so important, especially in today's world where it's so easy to get caught up in the material and the mundane. Yeah. It's about nurturing our souls, connecting with our inner wisdom and tapping into a source of inspiration and guidance that's beyond ourselves.
Absolutely. And then finally we have time.
Okay.
Which might seem like an odd one to include.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
But Bottega, he argues that time is a precious resource that we need to manage wisely.
Okay.
We need to be mindful of how we're spending our time, focus on what's truly important, and avoid getting caught up in distractions and time wasters.
It's about being present, being intentional with our time, right?
Yes, exactly.
Not letting it slip away from us without consciously choosing how we want to spend it.
Exactly. And by investing in all 5 of these components, physical needs, relationships, mind, spirit, and time, we increase our capacity to thrive in the game of life. It's not about achieving some perfect balance, but rather about being aware of these different domains and consciously choosing how we want to invest our energy and our resources.
This whole concept of probabilistic survival currency is so insightful.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like a roadmap for creating a life that's not just successful, but deeply fulfilling and meaningful.
Exactly.
I'm curious to hear more about how this connects to the idea of leadership and creating our own reality.
Yeah.
Can we delve into that next?
Absolutely. That's where things get even more interesting. So before the break, we were talking about this idea of multiple probable timelines. This concept that we actually have the power to choose which reality we experience.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing to think that our choices, our actions, our focus could really be shaping our lives in ways that we don't even realize.
It is. But if we really stop and think about it, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
We've all had those moments where a seemingly small decision led us down a completely different path.
Oh yeah, totally. I remember this one time. Actually, maybe that's a story for another day.
Right.
But you're right. Those sliding door moments can really have a huge impact on where we end up.
Exactly. And Bottega's work, it encourages us to become more aware of those moments, to recognize that we have more agency than we often give ourselves credit for.
So with all those potential timelines kind of swirling around, how do we know which one to choose?
Yeah.
How do we make sure we're creating the reality that we truly want?
That's where our values, our vision, and our awareness come in.
Okay.
The more clarity we have about what we truly want, the more aligned we are with our purpose, the more likely we are to manifest a reality that is fulfilling and meaningful.
It's like setting an intention.
Yes.
Right. Focusing our energy on the outcome that we desire and taking actions that align with that intention.
Precisely. And Bottega, he emphasizes the importance of aligning not just our actions, but also our thoughts and beliefs with the reality that we desire.
So if we're constantly dwelling on negative thoughts or focusing on what we don't want, we're more likely to manifest those negative timelines.
That's the idea. He suggests that our thoughts have a sort of magnetic power, attracting experiences and outcomes that match our dominant vibration.
It's like the law of attraction.
All right. Exactly.
If we want to create a happy, fulfilling life, we need to cultivate a positive mindset, focus on our goals, and believe in our ability to achieve them.
Exactly. And it's not about ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect.
Yeah.
It's about choosing to focus on the good, on the possibilities, on the things that we can control, even in the midst of difficulty.
This reminds me of Marcus Aurelius's emphasis on accepting what we cannot control.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging that life throws curveballs, but choosing how we respond to them.
Yes. And Bottega adds to that by emphasizing the importance of the now moment, the present moment where we make decisions and take action.
Right.
He describes it as a photogram, a snapshot of our past experiences, present awareness, and future aspirations all converging in this single point in time.
So it's about being fully present in each moment, recognizing that the past is gone and the future is yet to come.
Right.
But this moment right now is where we have the power to choose.
Precisely. And Bottega suggests that by mastering the now moment, by becoming more aware of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions in the present, we can start to consciously shape the course of our lives.
This all sounds so empowering.
It is.
But it also feels like a big responsibility.
It is, but it's also a responsibility that we all share. We are all creators, whether we realize it or not. Every choice we make, every action we take, contributes to shaping the reality that we experience, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us.
That's a really powerful thought. It makes me think about the concept of leadership.
Yeah.
If we're all creators, then we all have the potential to be leaders, right?
Absolutely. And Bottega, he talks about this in his leader formula, which we touched on earlier. He emphasizes that true leadership is not about holding a position of power or authority, but about inspiring others to increase their S, to become the best versions of themselves. Right. To really step into their full potential.
It's about leading by example.
Yes.
About embodying those qualities that we talked about earlier. Resilience, resourcefulness, purpose, and inspiring others to cultivate those qualities within themselves.
Exactly. And he argues that this kind of leadership isn't just for CEOs or politicians. It's for anyone who wants to make a difference. Anyone who wants to create a positive impact on the world.
So even small acts of kindness or courage or compassion can have a ripple effect, influencing others and contributing to a better world.
Absolutely. And that's where his 6 degrees of separation strategy comes in.
Oh, yeah.
He suggests starting with the people closest to us, sharing our vision, and finding those who resonate with our goals and values.
It's about building a community around a shared purpose, a shared vision for a better future.
Exactly. And by working together, supporting each other, and leveraging our collective talents and resources.
Yeah.
We can create a ripple effect that transforms the world around us.
This is all so inspiring.
It is.
But I think a lot of people might feel overwhelmed by all these concepts.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Where do we even begin to put these ideas into practice?
Well, Bottega, he offers a simple yet powerful tool for doing just that.
Okay, good.
The 3-step cycle of awareness.
Oh, right. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Sharing information, receiving inspiration, and taking action.
Exactly. It's a continuous loop of learning, growing, and evolving.
Okay.
We share what we've learned. We get inspired by new ideas, and then we take action based on that inspiration.
It's a cycle that we can consciously utilize to become more aware, to make more intentional choices. And to ultimately create a life that is both fulfilling and impactful.
And each time we go through this cycle, we refine our skills. We upgrade our strategies, and we become more masterful players in the game of life.
This reminds me of something we discussed earlier. The importance of investing in all 5 components of our S. It seems like these concepts are all interconnected, supporting each other in this journey of personal growth and creating a better world.
You're absolutely right. It's a holistic approach to life, recognizing that our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and even temporal well-being are all intertwined, and by consciously investing in each of these areas, we create a foundation for a life that is not just successful, but truly meaningful.
I love that.
Right.
So it's not about achieving some kind of perfect balance. But rather about being aware of these different aspects of ourselves. And making conscious choices. About how we want to invest our energy and resources.
Precisely, and both Marcus Aurelius and Luigino Bottega, they offer us invaluable guidance for making those choices. They remind us that we have the power to shape our own destiny, to create a reality that is aligned with our deepest values and aspirations.
And speaking of creating reality, I'm still fascinated by this idea of multiple probable timelines.
It's a fascinating concept.
Are there any practical tips for for tapping into this power, for choosing the timeline that we want to experience?
That's a great question. And Bottega does offer some practical advice.
Okay.
He suggests practicing gratitude,
Okay.
focusing on the good things in our lives,
Yeah.
surrounding ourselves with positive people. He also emphasizes the power of visualization, of creating a clear mental picture of the reality that we desire.
It's like we're training our minds to focus on what we want to attract those positive timelines into our experience.
Exactly. And he also suggests paying attention to our intuitions, to those gut feelings that guide us towards our true path.
It's about listening to that inner voice, that inner knowing
Yes.
that often speaks to us in whispers.
Exactly. And by combining these practices with intentional action, but taking steps towards our goals, we can start to manifest the reality that we envision.
This is all so inspiring.
It is.
It's like we're unlocking a hidden superpower, the power to create our own destiny.
And that power is available to each and every one of us.
That's amazing.
So it's a matter of choice, of awareness, of action.
Yeah.
And both Marcus Aurelius and Luigino Bottega, they offer us a roadmap for claiming that power and using it to create a life that is both fulfilling for ourselves and beneficial for the world around us.
I love that. So it's not just about winning the game of life for ourselves, but about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to win.
Exactly. And Bottega, he introduces this fascinating concept called the purpose of life formula.
Oh yes, I remember this.
Which beautifully encapsulates this idea, discovering our talents, using them with passion and making a positive impact. And he argues that this formula isn't just for a select few. Right. It's for everyone. We all have unique talents and passions. By embracing them, by using them to make a positive difference in the world. Right. We can create a life that is truly meaningful and fulfilling.
I love that. It's a reminder that we all have something special to offer. Yeah. That we all have a purpose, and that by aligning our actions with that purpose, we can create a ripple effect that spreads kindness, compassion, and positive change.
And that brings us to another important aspect of Bottega's work, the concept of probabilistic survival currency, or S. Right. Which we discussed earlier. He argues that as we invest in our own growth, as we increase our S, we become more capable of guiding and supporting others on their journeys.
It's like a beautiful cycle, right?
It is.
As we thrive, we empower others to thrive, and as we help others to thrive, our own S expands even further.
Exactly. And he breaks down S into those 5 key components that we talked about. Yeah. Physical needs, relationships, mind, spirit, and time. By nurturing each of these areas, we increase our capacity to navigate the game of life effectively, and to support others in doing the same.
It's a holistic approach to personal growth and creating a better world, recognizing that our well-being is interconnected with the well-being of those around us.
Absolutely. And both Marcus Aurelius and Luigino Bottega, in their own unique ways, offer us a wealth of wisdom and practical guidance for living a life that is not just successful, but deeply fulfilling and meaningful.
And they remind us that we're not alone on this journey. We have each other. We have the wisdom of the ages, and we have the power within ourselves to create a reality that is more aligned with our deepest values and aspirations.
So beautifully put. And as we continue our deep dive, let's explore some specific examples of how we can apply these concepts to our everyday lives.
Okay, yeah,
Let's start by looking at one of Bottega's most intriguing exercises, which he calls mindstorming.
Ooh, that sounds intense. What exactly is mindstorming, and how can it help us win at the game of life?
Well, it's It's essentially a structured brainstorming process that is designed to help us analyze our past, envision our future, identify our assets, generate ideas, and create a plan of action.
Okay.
It's a powerful tool for gaining clarity, setting goals, and overcoming obstacles.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about how this process works.
Okay, sure. Bottega, he breaks it down into 6 steps.
Okay.
The first step is to analyze the past.
Okay.
And this involves taking a deep dive into our past experiences, both the successes and the failures, and identifying the patterns, beliefs, and choices that led to those outcomes.
So it's about learning from our experiences, both the good and the bad.
Exactly. And to facilitate this process, Bottega suggests asking ourselves a series of questions, such as what were my greatest successes? What were my biggest failures?
Okay.
What patterns do I see emerging in my life?
Okay.
What beliefs have been holding me back? What choices have led me to where I am today?
Wow, those are some really powerful questions. It sounds like this step requires a lot of honesty and self-reflection.
It does, but it's through that honesty and self-reflection that we gain the insights we need to move forward with clarity and purpose.
So once we've analyzed the past, what's the next step?
The next step is to analyze the future. This is where we start to envision what we want to create.
Okay.
We ask ourselves questions like, what do I want my life to look like 5 years from now?
Yeah.
What goals do I want to achieve?
Okay.
What impact do I want to make on the world?
So we're shifting our focus from the past to the future.
Yeah, exactly.
From what has been to what could be.
Exactly. And Bottega, he emphasizes the importance of using positive, empowering language when we're describing these goals.
Right.
So instead of saying, I don't want to be stuck in a dead-end job, we might say, I want to find a career that is fulfilling and aligns with my passions.
I see the difference. It's about framing our desires in a positive and proactive way.
Right. And by doing so, we start to attract those positive outcomes into our reality.
So once we have a clear vision of the future, what's the next step in the mindstorming process?
The next step is to list our assets.
Okay.
This is where we take stock of our resources, our strengths, our skills, our talents, everything we have to work with.
It's like we're gathering the tools that we need to build our dream, right?
Exactly. And this step is all about recognizing our potential, our power, and our capacity to create the future that we envision.
I love that. It's a reminder that we're not starting from scratch.
Right.
We all have unique gifts and resources to bring to the table.
Absolutely. And once we have a good understanding of our assets, we can move on to the 4th step, which is brainstorming ideas.
Okay.
This is where we let our creativity flow, exploring different options, generating possibilities, and thinking outside the box.
This is where the magic happens, right? The ideas start flowing, the possibilities seem endless, and we get excited about the potential for what we can create.
Exactly. And Bottega, he encourages us to be bold, to not censor ourselves, to just let the ideas flow freely. He suggests setting a timer and writing down as many ideas as possible without judgment or evaluation.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
It's about silencing that inner critic and giving ourselves permission to explore all possibilities.
Exactly. And once we have a good list of ideas, we can move on to the 5th step, which is choosing the most effective ideas.
Okay.
This is where we start to prioritize, to focus our energy and to develop a plan of action.
So it's about moving from the realm of possibilities to the realm of action, right?
Exactly. And Bottega suggests asking ourselves some key questions here.
Okay.
Which ideas resonate most strongly with me? Which ideas are most aligned with my values and goals?
Okay.
Which ideas have the potential to make the biggest impact?
It's about getting clear on what we want to achieve, and then choosing the ideas that will best support us in reaching those goals.
And finally, the sixth and final step is to take action.
Okay.
This is where we move from the realm of ideas to the realm of reality.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
It is.
It's about putting our plans into motion.
Yeah.
Taking those first steps and building momentum.
Exactly. And Bottega emphasizes that action doesn't have to be big or dramatic.
Okay.
Small, consistent steps taken consistently over time can lead to incredible results.
It's about taking those baby steps, those micro actions that ultimately add up to big changes.
Exactly. And by consistently taking action, by learning from our experiences and by refining our strategies, we can create the reality we desire. We can win at the game of life.
I love that. This whole mind-storming process sounds like a really powerful tool.
It is. It is.
For personal growth and for creating a life that's truly aligned with our values and purpose.
It is. And it's a reminder that we have more power than we often realize. We have the power to choose our thoughts,
right? To
shape our beliefs, to take action, and to ultimately create the reality that we desire.
And speaking of creating reality,
right.
let's dive back into Bottega's fascinating concept of multiple probable timelines. Okay. It's mind-boggling to think that there might be infinite versions of ourselves out there, living out different possibilities.
It is. And while Bottega doesn't delve too deeply into the theoretical aspects of this concept.
Okay.
He does suggest that our consciousness, our awareness plays a key role in collapsing these probable timelines into the reality that we experience.
So it's not just about our actions, but about our thoughts, our beliefs, our focus, all contributing to the manifestation of a particular timeline.
Exactly. And he emphasizes the importance of aligning our thoughts and beliefs with the reality that we desire. If we're constantly focusing on negative outcomes, on what we don't want, we're more likely to manifest those negative timelines.
Okay, so but if we focus on what we do want, on the positive possibilities, we're more likely to attract those positive timelines into our experience.
Precisely. And he offers some practical tips for doing just that. He suggests practicing gratitude, focusing on the good things in our lives, surrounding ourselves with positive people, and visualizing our desired outcomes.
These are all great strategies.
Yeah.
And they remind us that we have more control over our reality than we often realize. It's not just about passively accepting what life throws at us, but about actively shaping our experiences, choosing our paths, and creating the future that we desire.
Absolutely. And this reminds me of another key concept that Bottega highlights. The idea that we're not just playing for ourselves, but for the whole. Right. He emphasizes that our actions have a ripple effect, impacting not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us, our communities, and even the world at large.
It's a reminder of our interconnectedness that we're all part of something much larger than ourselves.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of leadership becomes so crucial. Bottega, he argues that strong leaders are not just successful in their own right, but they also inspire and empower others to increase their to become the best versions of themselves and to contribute to a better world.
It's a beautiful vision, isn't it?
It is.
A world where everyone is striving to thrive, to make a positive difference, and to support each other in that journey.
And it all starts with each of us taking responsibility for our own lives, for our choices, and for the impact that we make on the world.
So what practical steps can we take today to start aligning our lives with this vision?
Yeah.
What can we do to increase our S, to step into our leadership potential,
Yeah.
and to create a ripple effect of positive change?
Well, Bottega suggests starting with the 5 components of S that we discussed earlier.
Right.
Physical needs, relationships, mind, spirit, and time.
Right.
He encourages us to assess each of these areas and identify where we might be neglecting ourselves,
Okay.
or where we could be investing more energy and resources.
So it's about taking a holistic inventory of our lives.
Yeah.
Looking at how welcome back to the deep dive.
We've been on quite a journey.
Yeah.
Exploring these powerful ideas from Marcus Aurelius and Luigino Bottega about how to truly thrive in the game of life.
It's been really fascinating to see how these two thinkers, separated by so much time, offer such complementary perspectives on living with purpose,
right?
Navigating challenges and ultimately shaping our reality.
You know, one thing that keeps coming up for me is this sense of interconnectedness.
Yeah.
Both Aurelius and Bottega.
They emphasize that we're not isolated individuals,
right?
But part of a larger web of life.
It's such a crucial insight.
Yeah.
And it really does have profound implications for how we live our lives.
Absolutely.
It reminds us that our actions, even seemingly small ones, have a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
It's like that butterfly effect idea.
Yeah.
A butterfly flaps its wings in one part of the world, and it can eventually cause a hurricane on the other side of the globe.
Exactly. And this interconnectedness, it also highlights the importance of leadership.
Right.
But as we've discussed, it's not about traditional hierarchies or positions of power.
Right. Bottega's leader formula reminds us that leadership is about vision and talents and passion and belief.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about inspiring others, empowering them to step into their own potential, and working together to create a better world.
And that brings us back to Bottega's purpose of life formula, which we touched upon earlier.
Yeah.
He believes that the purpose of life is to discover our talents, use them with passion, and make a positive impact.
It's a beautiful and empowering formula, isn't it?
It is.
It suggests that we all have unique gifts to share, that we all have the capacity to make a difference, and that true fulfillment comes from aligning our actions with our purpose.
Absolutely. And that purpose, it doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as bringing joy to our families, supporting our communities, or making someone's day a little bit brighter.
I think what I find so inspiring about all of this is that it gives us a framework for moving beyond just surviving.
Yeah.
Beyond just going through the motions to truly thriving, making a meaningful contribution to the world.
And it all starts with awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness of our thoughts, our actions, our impact, and our potential.
Right. Yeah.
As Bottega says, the more aware we become, the more conscious choices we make, the more likely we are to create a reality that is aligned with our deepest values and aspirations.
And that brings us back to the power of the present moment.
Yeah.
To that photogram of now.
Right.
That Bottega describes. It's a reminder that the present is the only place where we have the power to choose, to act, and to create.
It's about being mindful, being present, and making each choice, each action a conscious step towards the reality that we want to manifest.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've gained so much valuable insight.
Me too.
Into how to approach life with more purpose and intention and awareness.
I hope it's inspired our listeners to explore these ideas further, and to discover their own unique path to winning at the game of life.
And for those who are eager to learn more, we highly recommend diving into Marcus Aurelius's Meditations.
Yeah, great book.
And Luigino Bottega's I.O. How to Win at the Game of Life.
Both readily available online and at most bookstores.
And for those who want to explore Bottega's work further, you you can visit www.winthegame-life.
Great recourse.
Where you'll find additional resources and insights for personal growth and development.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with a final thought, a question to ponder as they continue on their own journeys of self-discovery and growth.
What steps can you take today?
Yeah.
To embrace your unique talents and passions and use them to make a positive impact on the world?
That's a powerful question.
It's an invitation to step into our full potential, to embrace our purpose, and to create a ripple effect that spreads kindness and compassion and positive change.
Remember, no act is too small.
Right.
Every choice we make, every action we take has the potential to make a difference.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep winning at the game of life.